SACTA was established in 2016, i.e. 10 years ago, as a non-profit industry-led organization aimed at improving the genetics and technology in certain open-pollinated grain crops. Since then, we've had over 230 new varieties registered in the market, as well as some new technologies that were not previously available. It's with great pride that we can look back over 10 years and see what we've done in the technology space and the breeding space. But on top of that, we've actually created a whole lot of opportunities for developing farmers that will address issues of national food security.
More than a decade ago, we came together with Grain SA and Agbiz Grain to put together an organization that could do a value capture system for us. We realized that varieties for wheat and soybean and self-pollinated crops were not coming out fast enough. Our farmers were not being competitive. The seed industry was not getting a return on investment to develop new varieties. And we put our heads together in a collaborative way to come up with a system that would collect levies to reinvest into seed companies. So the levies that are collected through SACTA go to the seed companies that currently have skin in the game, they have IP, and that money goes into breeding new varieties. The system didn't just reward local companies, it also created investor confidence. That way we now have a system where international companies say, hey, it's worthwhile investing here. Let me bring my new varieties. I'm going to get a return on my investment. This way you have new investment, you have a levy that goes back into the seed companies, and we get newer, better genetics and more competitive varieties getting to our producers, making them more successful.
With certain important grain crops, which are open or self-pollinated seeds, farmers have the right to retain grain to plant it for the next season. Now, when the levels of farm-safe seed are so high, which can reach 90% in many of the cases, it makes it very unprofitable for seed companies to invest in developing new varieties and also accessing biotechnologies from other countries. Therefore, stakeholders in the industry recognized this problem and worked together to put together a model by which seed companies could be remunerated for their efforts in breeding and biotechnology. What I'm most proud of in the first instance is the whole industry getting together and working on a system that could accommodate farm-safe seed on the one side, and on the other side generate income for seed companies to make it viable for them to bring in new biotechnologies and to develop new varieties for the industry.
Previous initiatives were acts or bills that tried to limit or police the volume of seed that a farmer could retain for replanting. SACTA does not touch the farmer's right to save seed. Rather, it administers a breeding and technology levy on certain open pollinated and oilseed crops, and importantly, it catches them at the point of grain or the crop.
The farmers are under severe pressure when it comes to our margins, and I think the technology is something that is absolutely crucial to move forward and to maintain our sustainability and even our food security in the country as a whole. The new technology is the answer. If we have to improve, we need to improve our use of new technology, and without the SACTA levy, we can't have access to all of those.
I think what we've seen is a lot of new companies investing in South Africa, bringing seed Africa and bringing new technology in terms of seed and cultivars into South Africa. And I think that's what we benefited the most. The gene pool that we have, the choices that we have as farmers have really expanded over the past 10 years. In terms of better genetics and better technology, is it makes more competitive in terms of international trade. We get better yields. We can be more effective and efficient in what we plant, how we plant, and at the end of the day makes us more sustainable. We can plant soybeans in the West where we didn't plant it in the past. That's some kind of expansion that we've seen in terms of the soybean hectares.
It's really something that I have to give something to gain something, and for us in the farming industry, we saw this as a way going forward and giving something in a royalty that I'm prepared to give to the seed breeders. They became excited about South Africa. In the wheat industry, we moved from 3 participants in the seed market to 6 international guys becoming involved in the country. In the soy industry, even more excited. We've got all the new technology, all the new germplasm in the market, and you see it in what we achieved with that. Suddenly, the wheat market isn't going down anymore, and I foresee that very soon we're going to see an upward trend in the wheat industry in South Africa. The soy industry is even more spectacular with all the new technology and the new germplasm in South Africa. Where soybeans, a couple of years ago, we've been net importers of soybeans in South Africa, and currently, we're very close to being a net exporter of soybeans in South Africa.
SACTA, in my opinion, is correctly premised to serve the industry from the producer to the miller and the consumer perfectly. The reality is that in the 49 years that I've farmed, from yields of 4 and 5 tons, we've been able to achieve up to 10 tons of wheat per hectare. And that is only because we have institutions, an agency like SACTA, that has forwarded the agronomic qualities of wheat, specifically in our case, to those where it is today. And the net result of this collaboration across the value chain has enabled South Africa to sustain its food security, which in itself is a major achievement. And I must congratulate all concerned in this regard.
SACTA has over the past 10 years really played a pivotal role in ensuring continued investment in innovations such as new biotech traits that have become accessible to seed companies and to farmers. Through the deregulation of biotech traits, new varieties have become registered in South Africa, and these have made their way on farm, and farmers are now seeing the benefit of these. Multinational companies such as Bayer have brought these technologies and will continue to do so for as long as we've got an endpoint value capture system in place that ensures sustainability of the entire industry.
There's always a balance, between, we all know we want high yields because that's where we get our money from, but it's always a balance between high yield varieties that we want to put on the market, disease resistance, and very important, our quality standard in South Africa is baking and milling, and that makes us, viable and still for today to keep investing in the wheat business. And for the last decade, from 2017, what companies like us did, all these new entrants in the market, we registered 66 new varieties in the market specifically on wheat, and we are proud to say that Syngenta keeps investing, but we can only keep investing if we get a levy like SACTA. And I think really, to be honest, the SACTA income today is really to secure, the position and these crops for future in South Africa.
SACTA is committed into meaningful transformation in the grain and oilseed industry, and we've been doing that through provision of loans for developing farmers, and also skill and training, which we provide postgraduate loans and also training farmers on business management. We're also involved in the space for TVET in-service training, which have been struggling, but also and then we are involved with socio-economic for provision of small-scale production and also water and sanitation.
The first 10 years of SACTA has laid the foundation of how we work. But looking forward, we need to continue focusing on innovation, cooperation with the whole industry, and all of this to ensure that our farmers remain globally competitive.